Welcome to today's Transformation Dive, here at the Earn Flow Zone. Have you ever felt that invisible tug? That magnetic pull towards whatever promises a little hit of goodness right now? Maybe it's the siren song of the Add to Cart button, glowing with the promise of that gadget you just have to have, that course you'll totally start tomorrow, or that spontaneous weekend trip that feels utterly necessary for your current happiness levels. Your inner monologue kicks in, loud and clear. You work hard. You deserve this now. It's the financial equivalent of a toddler demanding candy, except it's you, the fully grown adult, negotiating with your future self who's patiently waiting for you to build something sustainable. And let's be honest, sometimes that negotiation is less parliamentary debate and more immediate capitulation. It's not just buying things either. It's hitting snooze instead of hitting that early morning work session on your side hustle. It's getting lost in the social media scroll for an hour instead of spending 20 minutes planning your budget or investing your savings. It's the relentless, almost involuntary craving for the present moment's comfort, validation, or distraction. We are swimming, perhaps drowning, in the age of now. Instant delivery, promises that want at your door in hours. Instant answers are just a search query away. Instant likes offer tiny hits of dopamine validation. Our brains, brilliant as they are fundamentally hardwired for immediate rewards. A survival instinct from when delayed gratification often meant missing out entirely on food, safety, or procreation opportunities. Back then, waiting wasn't a virtue. It was often a risk. But in the modern world, this ancient instinct is less about survival and more about clicks, conversions, and keeping you perpetually focused on consuming or distracting yourself in the present moment. Algorithms and marketing teams understand our primal wiring better than we do, creating a constant, low-grade hum of desire that keeps us squarely focused on today, this hour, this very second. It's like playing a video game where you only ever focus on collecting the tiny coins on the ground, completely ignoring the map to the final boss and the epic loot. And ironically, this relentless focus on now is precisely what keeps many of us stuck, stressed, and further away from the financial freedom, the impactful business, and the overall success we crave for our future selves. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content that helps you build a better future, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think and keeps this zone growing. Drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win this year. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. The seductive nature of the now is perhaps the single biggest silent killer of financial futures. It's the insidious belief that what you do right now is either insignificant or solely for immediate gratification, rather than a foundational brick being laid for your future self. You see, the cost of now isn't just the dollar amount of that impulse purchase, it's the opportunity cost. It's the potential growth that small amount could have earned over time. The skills you could have built with that scrolled away hour. The mental energy you could have invested in planning instead of reacting. Think of your financial journey like building physical fitness. You don't get strong or healthy from one intense workout now. You get results from consistent, often uncomfortable effort applied over time. Choosing the extra slice of cake now feels good, but the cumulative effect impacts your health later. Choosing to scroll now feels easy, but the cumulative effect impacts your future financial strength later. This isn't about deprivation. It's about understanding the true, often hidden, cost of prioritizing the present moment's fleeting comfort or desire over your long-term well-being. People often underestimate the sheer power of small, consistent choices. The myth is that only big decisions matter. The reality? It's the daily micro-moments. The decision to skip the $5 latte. The choice to work on that side project for 30 minutes. The discipline to automate a savings transfer that build empires, both financial and personal. These small now decisions, seemingly insignificant on their own, compound exponentially, just like interest. Except when focused on instant gratification, they compound against you, creating a debt of missed opportunity and stagnant potential. It's like planting weed seeds instead of fruit trees and wondering why you don't have a harvest later. It takes effort and patience to plant the right seeds, and the now loves to tell you that digging the soil is too much work. Here's a surprising thought. Your brain's now bias isn't a moral failing. It's a feature, not a bug, designed for a world that no longer exists. But recognizing how it's exploited by the modern world, the constant pings, the personalized ads, the endless entertainment streams, helps you detach from the feeling that you're just undisciplined. You're fighting against systems designed to keep you in a state of perpetual now consumption. A moment of light humor? Sometimes it feels like our phones are tiny portals to a dimension specifically engineered to steal our time and make us buy things we don't need, while simultaneously convincing us we're being productive because we're connected. Try this for a week. Identify your biggest now trap. Is it impulse spending online, excessive scrolling, hitting snooze, or something else? Just become aware of it without judgment. Ask yourself, in that moment of wanting the instant gratification, what is the actual cost of this now choice on my future self? This one habit of pausing and asking that question changed everything for me. It created a tiny pocket of space between the impulse and the action. And to start changing how you think about success, we need to talk about someone very important. Actually, two very important people. Because you have two selves constantly vying for control of your life, especially your finances. There's your present self, and then there's your future self. Now, your present self is pretty straightforward. They live for comfort, ease, and immediate rewards. This is the part of you that loves hitting the snooze button, scrolling endlessly through social media, or buying that thing you really want right now because, well, you deserve it, right? Your present self absolutely hates discomfort. It recoils from friction, avoids the hard conversations, and believes only in the tangible feelings of right now. Discipline? Patience? Saving for something far off? Yawn. The present self thinks your future problems are future you's problems. That sounds like a job for future me, is basically their mantra. Future me will pay the bills. Future me will go to the gym. Future me will learn that high-income skill. But then, there's your future self. This person lives in a different reality, one built on discipline, patience, and long-term investment. They thrive on growth, stability, and the kind of compounding success that takes time and consistent effort. Your future self understands that security isn't magic. It's the accumulation of small, smart decisions made daily. They know that financial freedom requires sacrifice from the present self. Maybe it's putting money into an investment account instead of buying the latest gadget, or spending Friday night learning instead of going out. Your future self is relying on these often uncomfortable choices you make today. It's kind of like trying to build a mansion with a construction crew that just wants to sit around eating donuts and watching cat videos. That's your present self most of the time. Here's where the surprising insight hits, and it's a game changer if you really internalize it. Your future self is depending on your present self's decisions right now. They aren't some abstract concept or a fictional character. They are you, living 5, 10, or 20, or 30, in the present times out, or even 20 years down the line. They are a real person whose quality of life, financial security, and overall happiness is being shaped by the choices you are making today. Think about that. If your present self consistently chooses comfort over growth, instant gratification over delayed reward, what kind of life are you building for that future self? Will they be struggling, stressed, wishing you had made different choices? Or will they be living a life of freedom and possibility? Grateful for the discipline you exercise today? This connection, this dependency, is often completely missed. Most people unconsciously prioritize their present self 99% of the time. They spend money they need for the future self's security, neglect the habits like saving, investing, learning that the future self's success depends on, and chase fleeting highs that leave the future self with the bill, often quite literally. So, let's make this real. Take a moment right now. Close your eyes if you can, or just look away from the screen for a second. Truly visualize your future self 5, 10 years from now. What does their life look like if your present self continues exactly as is? No changes, same habits, same spending patterns, same avoidance of discomfort. Be honest. Now visualize that future self's life if your present self starts consistently making decisions for them. What changes? What feels different? This one habit, regularly connecting with and visualizing your future self, changed everything for me. It transforms abstract goals into a tangible responsibility. Try this for a week. Before making any significant spending decision or choosing between a comfortable habit and a growth habit, ask yourself, is this serving my present self or building for my future self? It adds a crucial filter to your choices. Welcome to today's Transformation Dive, where we're unlocking the secrets to building the life you want, one conscious choice at a time. Ever feel like your brain is actively working against your long-term goals? Like there's a tiny, impulsive toddler running the show upstairs, constantly grabbing for the nearest shiny object or immediate comfort food? You're not alone. It's frustrating to know what you should do, save money, exercise, learn that skill, but consistently find yourself doing the opposite, scrolling mindlessly or hitting buy now on something you don't need. It's like a silent battle happening within you every single day. And guess what? For most people, the now wins, but it doesn't have to be that way. We're here to change that narrative. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content that helps you understand why you do what you do and how to shift it, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think. It's a small action that makes a big difference for the channel. Just like the small actions we'll talk about today can make a massive difference in your life. Drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win. I love reading your stories and connecting with this amazing community. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. Now, let's talk about why that internal toddler is so powerful. And it brings us to a fascinating concept often overlooked in personal finance: the biology of just do it. You hear that phrase everywhere. Just do it. Whether it's about starting a side hustle, hitting the gym, or finally setting up that high-yield savings account. But if it were that simple, everyone would be doing it, right? The truth is, just doing it is incredibly hard for a deep biological reason. Why is the present self so incredibly dominant, constantly overriding your future self's best intentions? Blame dopamine and evolutionary biology. Our brains, marvels of adaptation, evolved not for long-term wealth accumulation or retirement planning, but for immediate survival on the savannah. Think about it. If you saw food, you ate it now. If you found shelter, you went there now. If you perceived a threat, you reacted now. Procrastinating or thinking too much about the future literally could have meant death. That saber-toothed cat isn't waiting for you to finish your 5-year plan. This hardwiring served our ancestors incredibly well. It kept them alive. But it's become profoundly maladaptive in a modern world of credit cards, instant gratification apps, and Netflix binges. The little hit of dopamine you get from these modern behaviors is the key. That ping from a social media notification, the rush from buying something new online, the comfort from eating junk food, it's a powerful, immediate reward. It feels good. And your brain, still wired for that instant satisfaction, says, do that again. That kept you safe, or at least gave you pleasure. This creates a powerful, often unconscious bias towards the present moment. Your brain learns to associate immediate action, scrolling, buying, eating, with pleasure and comfort, making it incredibly difficult to choose the boring, slightly uncomfortable action today, like budgeting, saving, exercising, or learning a difficult skill that only pays off massively later. That dopamine hit from opening your brokerage statement 30 years from now feels incredibly distant compared to the hit you get from adding to cart right now. This biological drive explains why you know you should save, know you should exercise, know you should learn that skill, but find yourself doing the easy, comfortable thing instead. It's not necessarily a lack of willpower. It's your ancient brain fighting against your modern goals. It's a deep-seated preference for the known, comfortable now over the uncertain, delayed reward of the future. Understanding this biological truth is the first step to overcoming it. It's a myth that you're just lazy or bad with money. Often, you're simply operating on instinct designed for a different world. The surprising habit that challenges this is consciously building habits that provide micro-dopamine hits for the right behaviors. Tracking your spending, hitting a small savings goal, finishing a small learning module. These small wins provide tiny hits that start rewiring your brain towards the future. Ask yourself, what immediate, dopamine-driven behavior is currently sabotaging your long-term future? Identify it, because awareness is the first battle won. All right, we've journeyed through understanding why it's so hard to prioritize the future, battling that ancient brain bias and the pull of immediate gratification. The path isn't easy, and frankly, anyone who says, just do it, without acknowledging the internal struggle is missing a huge part of the picture. The one big takeaway from all of this is that true personal and financial growth isn't about magically acquiring more willpower. It's about consciously building systems and habits that work with or strategically around our biological wiring. It's about making the future benefits feel more real and the present temptations slightly less appealing. The potential long-term benefit if you take action, conscious, deliberate action, however small, is profound. It's the difference between drifting through life, constantly reacting to immediate urges and external pressures, and actively steering towards the destination you choose. Imagine the freedom, the peace of mind that comes from knowing your money is working for you, your skills are growing, and your health is improving. Not because you won the willpower lottery, but because you designed your environment and your habits to support your goals. It's not about restriction, it's about redirection. Here's a deeper insight. The struggle isn't the enemy, it's the training ground. Every time you choose the slightly harder, future-oriented action over the easy, immediate one, saving $5 instead of buying that coffee, spending 30 minutes learning instead of scrolling, you are literally strengthening the neural pathways that support your future self. You are building a new default, one conscious choice at a time. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about understanding the game your brain is playing and learning to play it better. The power isn't in wishing the struggle away. It's in engaging with it mindfully. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around. So you're earning, you're building momentum. Maybe you're even stacking a few wins. You're in the earn flow zone. Or are you? Because then something strange happens. It's like an invisible hand reaches into your wallet or your progress and just yanks. This, my friends, is what we call financial self-sabotage. And it's arguably the most insidious threat to your financial well-being, regardless of how much you earn. At its root is something called present bias. Think of it like being offered one cookie now or two cookies tomorrow. Your brain is wired to scream, "Cookies now." Valuing the immediate gratification way more than the delayed, potentially larger reward. It's not a moral failing. It's a feature of human psychology that wreaks absolute havoc on your finances if you don't actively manage it. For someone just starting out, maybe navigating their first real paycheck, this looks like impulse buys on credit cards. That new phone, those trendy shoes, that weekend trip you technically can't afford. Instantly gratifying, right? The plastic comes out, and suddenly you've traded future peace for a few moments of "I want it now." You're not just spending. You're signing up for high-interest debt that eats away at your future earnings like termites. You justify it with, "I deserve this," or "it's just this once." But each "just this once" digs the financial hole deeper. It's like trying to build a house on quicksand. Move up the ladder a bit, earning a comfortable income. Present bias morphs into lifestyle creep. The raise lands, and instead of asking, "How can I invest this surplus for serious growth?" the immediate thought is often, "What can I upgrade? New car? Bigger house? More lavish vacations?" It feels deserved, right? And maybe it is. But if all the surplus goes to funding the now lifestyle, you're just running faster on the same financial treadmill. You're earning more, sure, but you're not actually building wealth or security for the long haul. It's the classic trap of looking rich, but not being rich. Even for the ambitious entrepreneur, the dedicated investor, or the serious self-improver, present bias is a cunning trap. It's shiny object syndrome. Instead of patiently grinding on the core, often mundane activities that actually build long-term value, consistent sales calls, focused product development, disciplined investing, deep skill practice, you get distracted by the new marketing tactic, the hot stock tip, the must-have online course, the latest productivity hack. You justify it. This will make everything faster. This is the missing piece. It feels like progress because you're doing things, but you're scattered, neglecting the foundational tasks that truly drive growth. It's like constantly buying new workout gear, but never hitting the gym consistently. You hear yourself saying, "I deserve this." And yes, you do deserve nice things. But when that deserve is consistently financed by your future self's potential, it's a problem. It's just this once. How many just this once moments add up to a consistent pattern of overspending or neglect? I'll start saving next month. That land called next month seems lovely, but the currency there is regret, and the interest rates are terrible. Because the siren song of now is always louder, always pulling you back. And here's the surprising truth, the one that might sting a little, but needs to be said clearly. Many people aren't struggling financially or failing to build momentum because they don't earn enough or aren't capable. They're struggling because their present self keeps spending or neglecting the very resources and actions their future self desperately needs. Your income matters, absolutely, but your behavior with that income and your discipline in your daily habits matter even more. The immediate comfort of spending now directly causes the debt and anxiety later. The immediate pleasure of an upgrade now directly causes the lack of investment capital later. The immediate excitement of chasing novelty now directly causes scattered results and slow progress later. The cause-effect is direct and unavoidable. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from prioritizing future you just a little bit today? Now let's shift gears slightly, but stay firmly rooted in the same principle of cause and effect. We often talk about the financial cost of poor decisions, right? The impulse buys, the debt, the missed opportunities. But the real cost, the deep down impact, goes far, far beyond the numbers in your bank account. This is what I call beyond money, the life drain. You might think your struggle with money is just a money problem. Maybe you tell yourself you're just bad with budgeting, or you don't earn enough. But what if that financial indiscipline is actually a glaring red flag for a much broader pattern in your life? Think about it. That comfort you prioritize now by staying on the couch isn't just costing you a potential workout. It's bleeding into your future health, energy levels, and longevity. It's the delayed cost of inertia. Similarly, choosing the easy distraction, doom scrolling, binge watching, over learning that hard skill, or diving into that complex project isn't just stealing time. It's sacrificing your future career potential, your adaptability, your earning capacity. You're trading future capability for present ease. It's like wanting a gourmet meal, but only ever ordering fast food. You get immediate gratification, but you miss out on deep nourishment and skill development. This isn't limited to just health and knowledge. Look at relationships. Building deep, meaningful connections requires consistent, sometimes challenging effort over time. It's showing up, listening when it's hard, offering support when it's inconvenient, prioritizing the quick fix, or avoiding difficult conversations now might seem easier in the moment, but it erodes trust and intimacy, leading to a deficit of genuine connection down the line. It's the relational equivalent of spending only on fleeting pleasures instead of investing in solid assets. Consider the person who talks endlessly about their ambitious business idea, the someday empire. They'll spend hours networking, brainstorming, designing logos, attending seminars. anything that feels productive now, that gives the illusion of progress, but avoids the consistent, unglamorous, difficult work of actually building the product, making the sales calls, or crunching the real numbers. They are actively sacrificing their future self's success, the one who needed them to just do the work, for the present self's comfort and the ego boost of talking about being busy or ambitious. They're on a hamster wheel of perceived productivity. This pattern, this constant prioritization of the now over the later, creates a kind of compounding deficit that extends far beyond money. It's a deficit of health, a deficit of knowledge, a deficit of deep relationships, a deficit of opportunity. It's like taking out a loan on your future across all areas of your life, not just financially. Here's the truly surprising insight, the one that challenges common thinking. Financial indiscipline is often just one symptom of a broader, more pervasive difficulty in delaying gratification across all areas of life. If you find yourself constantly struggling with prioritizing your money now versus later, take a step back. Ask yourself, where else am I sacrificing the future for the present? Where else is the immediate comfort or ease winning out over the long-term gain? Try this for a week. Identify one small area outside of finance where you consistently choose the now over the later. Example, hitting snooze versus getting up, scrolling versus reading, easy dinner versus cooking. Consciously choose the later option in that one area and see if you notice any shifts, not just there, but perhaps even subtly impacting your financial decisions. This pattern is deeply interconnected. Welcome to today's Transformation Dive, right here at Earn Flow Zone. Ever feel like your future self is constantly being robbed by your present self? Like you're stuck on this treadmill of immediate gratification, spending money as soon as it hits your account, hitting snooze instead of the gym, or scrolling endlessly when you know you should be working on that side hustle. Yeah, you're not alone. It's like we're hardwired to crave the now, even if now is a lukewarm cup of instant satisfaction that leaves us cold later. But what if the real secret to financial freedom and personal growth wasn't about earning more or grinding harder every single second? What if it was about mastering something far more fundamental, something ancient, yet incredibly powerful in our modern world? Something that feels counterintuitive in a culture that screams, "You only live once," and "buy now, pay later." You're about to discover why delaying pleasure isn't just about being responsible. It's about building an empire, brick by conscious brick. This channel is all about giving you the practical tools and mindset shifts to unlock your financial potential and design a life you love. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think in getting this message out to more people just like you. And hey, I love hearing from you. Drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit wins so far. Sharing our successes, big or small, keeps us all motivated. Okay, enough preamble. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. Transition from previous section about challenges or pitfalls. Now, if constantly battling the urge for now feels exhausting, there's an alternative that doesn't involve superhuman willpower or moving off-grid to avoid all temptation. Instead, it's about cultivating what I call the superpower of later. This isn't about becoming a joyless ascetic who never enjoys anything good in life. Absolutely not. You're not signing up to live in a monk's cell and eat gruel forever. Think of it more like a high-level strategy game for your life. It's about making a conscious, strategic choice to prioritize a greater, more substantial reward in the future over a lesser, fleeting reward right now. It's the elegant, powerful ability to look at your present self's impulsive desires and gently, but firmly, say, "No, not yet," for the profound benefit of your future self. It's the ultimate act of self-love across time. This skill isn't just a nice-to-have. It's the absolute foundation of saving money, consistently investing for growth, dedicating time to learn a new skill, building a business or a side hustle that takes time to pay off, and developing true, unshakable discipline in any area of life. If you can't resist dipping into your savings for that impulse purchase today, you'll never build wealth tomorrow. If you can't resist scrolling social media instead of working on that business plan, the business will never launch. It's cause and effect, played out over time. Here's the surprising insight, and it's a powerful one. Delayed gratification isn't just a financial principle, it's a core life skill that researchers have found is highly correlated with long-term success, better physical health, improved psychological well-being, and even stronger relationships. Think back to the famous marshmallow test from the 1960s and 70s. Kids were offered 1 marshmallow now, or 2 if they could wait a short period. Follow-up studies decades later found that the children who were able to wait for the second marshmallow tended to have better life outcomes in so many areas. Higher SAT scores, lower BMI, better coping skills, and yes, more success in their careers. It wasn't really about candy. It was about the predictive power of this one ability to delay immediate gratification. They weren't suffering in silence. Many employed strategies to distract themselves or think differently about the reward. By consciously choosing later, you are not depriving yourself. You are actively building the life, the financial security, and the future self your present self only dreams of having. You are quite literally shaping your destiny with every delayed indulgence, every saved dollar, every focused hour. It's like planting seeds instead of eating them immediately. The immediate pleasure is small. The future harvest can be immense. Try this for a week. Identify one small area where you can choose later over now. Maybe it's waiting 24 hours before making any non-essential purchase, or dedicating the first hour after work to learning a new skill instead of zoning out. Ask yourself, when I choose now, what future possibility am I trading away? This one habit, the conscious, strategic choice for later, changed everything for me. It wasn't about becoming perfect overnight, but about building that superpower muscle, one small choice at a time. So, we've talked about understanding the trap of now and embracing the superpower of later. Transition to next section, maybe about strategies for applying delayed gratification. After wrapping up the main sections, including Section 6, we've covered a lot today at Earn-Flow Zone, from recognizing the subtle pull of instant gratification to understanding the profound power unlocked by choosing later. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the financial advice and self-improvement gurus out there. But if there's just one thing you take away from this deep dive, let it be this: the ability to consciously delay immediate pleasure for a greater future reward is not a sacrifice. It is an investment in your future self. It is, truly, a superpower accessible to everyone. Imagine the cumulative effect of choosing later, just a little bit more each day, each week, each month. That saved $5 coffee becomes an investment. That hour spent learning becomes a new opportunity. That workout skipped becomes energy gained. Over time, These small, conscious decisions compound, building not just a healthier bank account, but a stronger, more resilient, more capable you. The potential long-term benefit isn't just financial freedom, it's freedom from impulse, freedom to choose your path, freedom to build a life aligned with your deepest values and biggest dreams. Here's a deeper insight that often gets missed. Delayed gratification isn't just about willpower, it's about vision. You can't delay gratification for a future you can't clearly see or genuinely believe in. The stronger your vision for your future self, the easier it becomes to make choices that serve that vision, even when they require saying no today. Cultivating this superpower is fundamentally about strengthening your connection to your future self and understanding that they are counting on you right now. It's an ongoing practice, a muscle you build, and it gets easier and more intuitive the more you exercise it. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around. Okay, so we've talked about identifying your flow, setting those clear intentions, and building the foundational habits. Now, let's talk about turning those consistent small actions into something truly powerful. This brings us to a principle that sounds simple, but is arguably the engine room of serious long-term wealth accumulation. Compounding future wealth. At its heart, this concept is powered by something we often struggle with in our instant gratification world: delayed gratification. It's that conscious decision to put a small amount of money aside now instead of spending it, and then allowing that money not just to sit there, but to grow and earn returns on its own returns. Think of it like planting a seed and letting it sprout, then letting the new sprouts produce more seeds, and so on. Each generation of growth fuels the next. For someone just starting out on their financial journey, delayed gratification might look like consistently saving $20 a week for an emergency fund instead of grabbing those convenient and pricey lunches out every day. That $20 doesn't feel like much initially, but over months it builds, and the discipline it builds is priceless. For the mid-earner navigating more complex financial waters, it's automating investment contributions directly from every paycheck before they even see it, instead of upgrading their car loan for a fancier ride they don't truly need. That monthly investment contribution is a sacrifice today for a significantly better financial position tomorrow. And for the ambitious entrepreneur or high earner, it's the strategic choice to reinvest business profits back into growth, expanding operations, or paying down debt instead of taking excessive owner draws or buying luxury items. These choices at every level are acts of faith in your future self, choosing future abundance over immediate comfort. The real magic of compounding isn't just the amount you save. It's the time that money has to work for you, undisturbed by the present self's immediate demands. This principle holds a truly surprising fact. Someone who starts saving $500 a month at age 25 and saves consistently for just 10 years, stopping at age 35, will likely have significantly more money by age 60 than someone who starts saving $500 a month at age 35 and saves diligently every month until age 60, assuming similar investment returns. Yes, the early saver contributed for only 10 years, total $60,000, while the later saver contributed for 25 years, total $150,000. But the early saver's money had so much more time compounding during those crucial early years. That illustrates just how powerful time, fueled by consistent saving and investing, delayed gratification is as your most powerful financial ally. It's like letting a snowball roll down a hill. It starts small, but it picks up speed and mass exponentially. This one habit, prioritizing future gain over present pleasure in your finances, changed everything for me. It shifted the focus from scarcity, "I can't afford that luxury lunch," to future possibility. "That $20 is building my future security." Try this for a week. Identify one small, non-essential purchase you make daily or weekly. It could be coffee, a snack, a subscription you barely use. Redirect that small amount, just $5, $10, $20, into a separate savings account or even just track it mentally. Calculate the future value of that small, consistent saving amount over 5, 10, or 20 years using an online compound interest calculator. It can be surprisingly motivating to see what seemingly insignificant amounts can become when time gets to work. Ask yourself, what immediate pleasure are you willing to delay today to build your future wealth faster? The answer is the starting point for harnessing the power of compounding. This principle of compounding isn't confined just to your bank account. It applies just as powerfully, if not more so, to your skills and your future earning potential. Think about it. You have two versions of yourself constantly battling for control: the present self and the future self. The present self, after a long day, just wants to crash on the couch, maybe scroll mindlessly through social media, or binge that new series everyone's talking about. It craves immediate comfort, instant gratification. But the future self? That version of you knows what's truly needed. The future self needs you to learn that new software that's becoming standard in your industry, to take that online course that could unlock a higher salary bracket, to practice that difficult skill until it becomes second nature, or even to push past exhaustion and network when you're tired, because opportunities often hide in those connections. Here's where the surprising insight comes in, and it's something many people miss entirely because it feels counterintuitive. The rewards for this kind of effort aren't immediate, not even close. You don't get paid extra for practicing coding for an hour tonight. Your boss doesn't give you a bonus because you spent your Saturday reading a dense industry report. There's no instant recognition, no likes or shares for the quiet, consistent grind of building capability. It's like trying to get ripped by doing one push-up. It just doesn't work that way. But consistently choosing that effort over ease, day after day, week after week, compounds your knowledge, deepens your expertise, and exponentially increases your value in the marketplace over time. Consider the beginner who commits just 30 minutes daily to learning a high-demand skill online, maybe data analysis, digital marketing, or even effective communication. That's 3.5 hours a week, 14 hours a month, over 160 hours a year dedicated to building something tangible. Or the mid-earner who dedicates precious weekends to pursuing a professional certification that seems daunting and takes months. Or the ambitious entrepreneur spending hours mastering complex sales funnels or intricate marketing strategy, often failing repeatedly before succeeding. The biggest leaps in earning potential, the kind that feel like you suddenly leveled up 3 tiers in the career game, often come not from one lucky break, but from skills built slowly, patiently, and deliberately over time. This demands incredible delayed gratification on your effort and focus. You're investing time and energy now, when you're tired or bored, for a payoff that might be months or even years down the road. It's the ultimate act of faith in your future self. It's the difference between wanting to be good and putting in the reps required to become good. So, ask yourself, what's one skill that, if you developed it over the next year or two, could significantly increase your future value or open up entirely new income streams? Seriously, think about it. Once you have that one skill in mind, commit just 15 minutes today. Yes, just 15 minutes, less time than a sitcom episode, to learning about it, finding a resource, or taking the first tiny, almost embarrassingly small step towards acquiring it. That tiny step, taken consistently, is where the magic starts. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest roadblocks: delayed gratification. We all know we should save, invest, or build skills now for a better later. But why does later often feel so abstract, while now is screaming for that impulse purchase or instant comfort? People often frame this struggle as discipline versus desire, a constant battle where present you feels like you're constantly losing something. You're saying no to fun purchases, saying yes to boring tasks, and it feels like a continuous state of deprivation. But what if we told you there's a surprising mindset shift that makes delayed gratification not feel like a sacrifice, but an act of profound kindness? This is where the concept of truly befriending your future self comes in. Stop seeing your savings account as money you can't spend now, and start seeing it as a dedicated fund for a person you genuinely care about, the person you are becoming. Imagine this future self not as some vague concept, but as a real person living their life years from now. Give them a name. Seriously, try it. Is it Secure Samantha? Opportunistic Oliver? What are they doing? Are they traveling? Are they starting a business? Are they simply enjoying peace of mind because the bills are paid and there's a cushion? What kind of security, freedom, and opportunities do they have specifically because of the disciplined actions you are taking today? This simple act of personification creates empathy. It's like saving for a child's future college fund. It feels less like your sacrifice and more like an investment in their potential. Except, in this case, the beneficiary is, well, still you, but a future, hopefully happier version of you. Think of it like leaving thoughtful notes or preparing meals for a loved one you know will be tired later. You're doing that for your future self. When the urge hits to blow money on something fleeting or to skip that important learning session, pause for just a second. Ask yourself honestly, is this decision truly serving present me in a meaningful long-term way? Or is it robbing future me of security, opportunity, or peace? The surprising insight here, the real game changer, is that by cultivating this empathy, you fundamentally reframe the discomfort. The sacrifice of today becomes an investment in someone you deeply care about. It's not a loss, it's a contribution. Suddenly, that effort feels less like struggling against yourself and more like working for someone you're rooting for, yourself, just later. It's less, ugh, I can't buy that, and more, I'm building something amazing for future self's name. Try this for a week. When faced with a decision that trades future gain for immediate pleasure, visualize future self. Does this action help them or hinder them? As a prompt for action today, write a short note to your future self outlining just one specific action you will take for them this week. Maybe it's automating a small saving transfer, finally tackling that financial task you've avoided, or saying no to one unnecessary purchase. This one habit, changed everything for me. Making delayed gratification feel less like a chore and more like building a bridge to a future I'm genuinely excited for. All right, let's dive into Section 10, Engineering Your Environment. Welcome to today's Transformation Dive, where we tackle the sneaky ways our minds and the world sabotage our future selves. Ever feel like you know exactly what you should do, but the moment arrives and, nope, you opt for the easy snack, the impulse buy, the scroll, instead of the hustle? You're not alone. It's not a personal failing of willpower, as much as it is a fundamental design flaw in being human. The gravitational pull of now is incredibly strong. And relying solely on brute force willpower to resist that pull day in and day out, that's like trying to empty the ocean with a teacup. It's a losing battle against the relentless forces pushing instant gratification. But here's the game changer, the practical path to finally making delayed gratification the easier choice. You don't need infinite willpower. You need smart engineering. The key is to engineer your environment for success. Think of it like building a riverbed. You're not forcing the water where to go with sheer strength. You're shaping the path so it naturally flows in the direction you want. This means consciously structuring your physical and digital world to make the desired future-serving action easy and the undesired present-oriented action difficult. It sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but its effectiveness is profound. Let's get tactical. How do you build this successful environment? First, automate your financial flow. This is non-negotiable. Automate your savings transfers. Automate your investment contributions. Set them up to happen right after payday so that money is gone, working for your future, before your present self even gets a chance to see it and think, pizza and a new gadget sounds good. This is pure environmental engineering. The desired action, saving, investing, becomes the default, effortless path. The undesired action, spending that money, requires effort because the money simply isn't there anymore. It's brilliant because it bypasses the need for moment-to-moment willpower decisions. Expand this principle to other areas. Your inbox is a battlefield for your attention and wallet. Unsubscribe mercilessly from marketing emails that tempt you with things you don't need. Delete those shopping apps that put impulse buys just a tap away. Add layers of friction. Think about your health goals. Keep healthy snacks prepped and visible on the counter or the front of the fridge. Hide the junk food in the back, high up, or ideally, don't even bring it into the house. It's harder to eat 3 cookies if you have to climb on a chair to find them than if they're sitting right next to your hand on the desk. Same for your growth goals. Block time in your calendar specifically for learning, working on your side hustle, or hitting the gym. Treat these appointments with the same respect you'd give a meeting with your boss. Your environment, in this case, your schedule, is dictating your actions. Want to curb impulse spending? Introduce a required cooling-off period. Make a rule that for any non-essential purchase over, say, $50 or $100, you have to wait 24 hours before buying it. Add the item to a cart, then walk away. Often, the desire fades. You've engineered friction into the purchase process, giving your future self time to regain control. The surprising insight here, and the one that truly challenged my own thinking, is how much more powerful your environment is than your raw intentions or willpower. People often underestimate this. They blame themselves for lacking discipline when their environment is actively setting them up for failure. Structure beats willpower nearly every single time. It's not about being stronger. It's about being smarter and designing your surroundings. This one habit changed everything for me. I stopped relying on my mood or motivation to do hard things and started building systems that made the hard things the path of least resistance. It's incredibly freeing. Now ask yourself, what's stopping you from making this shift? Is it inertia? Not knowing where to start? Don't overthink it. Your challenge today, your prompt for action, is to identify just one single environmental change you can make right now to make prioritizing your future easier. Just one. Maybe it's setting up an automated transfer. Maybe it's deleting that one shopping app. Maybe it's moving the cookie jar. Make that change today. You'll be amazed at the ripple effect. Now, let's talk about a principle that doesn't just get easier as you make more money. It actually becomes more critical and scales right alongside your growth. Delayed gratification. Think of it like leveling up in a game. When you're starting out, the challenges are smaller, the rewards are immediate but minor, and the discipline needed feels basic. Maybe skipping a small treat now for a slightly bigger win soon. You might be at the beginner stage, figuring out the fundamentals. For you, delayed gratification might look like the seemingly small act of resisting that daily $5 fancy coffee. Over a year, that's $1,825. Instead, you funnel that into building your first $500 emergency fund. It's choosing a slightly cheaper apartment than you could technically afford, not because you can't stretch, but specifically to attack high-interest debt faster. It's spending 30 intentional minutes learning basic budgeting on a Saturday morning, instead of immediately hitting play on a mindless TV binge. These aren't massive sacrifices, but they trade an immediate, small pleasure for a larger foundational financial win down the line. As you move into the mid-earner phase, perhaps you've paid off consumer debt and have a decent emergency fund. The stakes and the opportunities shift. Delayed gratification here isn't about foregoing tiny daily luxuries anymore. It's about resisting the urge to upgrade everything just because you can. You got a raise? Awesome. The immediate gratification is buying the new car, the bigger house, the designer wardrobe. The delayed gratification is choosing to invest that raise or a significant portion of a bonus instead. It's looking at your perfectly functional 5-year-old car and saying, "This gets me where I need to go safely," instead of succumbing to the shiny new vehicle siren song. It's delaying that lavish, Instagram-perfect vacation for a year or two to save diligently for a down payment on your first rental property, trading a week of memories for decades of potential cash flow. It's a different class of decision, requiring a deeper level of foresight and patience, like choosing to re-roll a powerful but temporary buff in your game for a chance at a legendary, permanent upgrade. Then you have the ambitious builders, the entrepreneurs, the high-level professionals focused on significant wealth creation. For them, delayed gratification operates on an entirely different playing field, often involving potentially massive sums and longer time horizons. This might mean the founder delaying taking a substantial personal salary or payout for years, instead reinvesting every possible dollar back into growing the business. It's prioritizing building robust, long-term systems and scalable processes over chasing every single quick cash opportunity that pops up. It could be delaying leisure time, postponing vacations, or saying no to social events to acquire a high-level niche skill, or to spend crucial time building key strategic relationships that will pay dividends years down the road. The immediate reward of taking the money, chasing the easy win, or relaxing feels great, but the delayed, larger reward could be exponential business growth, market leadership, or generational wealth. The core principle remains identical. Trading a smaller, immediate reward for a larger, later, more impactful one. Here's the truly surprising insight. The myth bust buried in this concept. No matter how much you earn, whether it's $30,000 or $3 million a year, the discipline itself of delayed gratification doesn't become optional or less important. In fact, it often becomes more crucial. The stakes are higher. A poor decision, driven by the need for immediate gratification, when you're dealing with large sums, can set you back years, sometimes irrevocably. Conversely, mastering this discipline when the opportunities are large can catapult you to financial freedom and impact on a scale most people only dream of. It's like weightlifting. The fundamental movement, the discipline, is the same, but the weights, the stakes and opportunities get heavier, requiring more control and mental fortitude. Ask yourself this: where are you currently allowing the comfort of immediate gratification to cost you a much larger future win? Is it that small daily habit, the mid-level upgrade you don't truly need? Or the big payout you're itching to take now instead of letting your investment compound? This one habit, consciously choosing the later, larger reward over the immediate, smaller one, changed everything for me and countless others. Start identifying just one area today. All right, you've been with us, exploring how our minds play tricks with money and progress. We've looked at patterns, maybe recognized a few less than ideal habits hiding in plain sight. So, where does this leave you? Right here, right now. This is where the rubber meets the road, where the abstract ideas about finance and future security crash headfirst into the undeniable pull of the present. Understanding this pull, this powerful urge for immediate comfort or satisfaction, is the absolutely critical first step. You feel it, I feel it, everyone feels it. It's the siren song of buy now, pay later, the irresistible urge to scroll instead of build, the comfort of staying put when you know you should be moving forward. But here's the shift. Recognizing that your future self is waiting for you to make different choices is the second step, and perhaps the most empowering. Think of your future self not as some vague, distant stranger, but as a very real person depending on you. They are standing somewhere down the road, looking back at you right now, hoping you choose wisely. They aren't asking for perfection, just consideration. This brings us to the principle of delayed gratification. For so many, this phrase sounds like deprivation, like being forced to eat your vegetables when all you want is dessert. But let me tell you, that is a massive myth bust we need to crush right now. Delayed gratification is not a punishment. It is the single most powerful tool you possess for building wealth, skills, confidence, and yes, a life of genuine fulfillment. It is the bridge from wishing and wanting to actually having and being. It's the difference between looking at someone else's success and becoming that successful person yourself. Here's the cold, hard truth, and it's something people often underestimate. If you continue, day after day, choice after choice, to prioritize your present self above all else, above saving, above learning, above discipline, you will remain stuck on the financial and personal hamster wheel. You'll keep facing the same money stress, the same frustrating lack of progress. the same widening gap between your potential and your reality. And this isn't just about stagnant growth. There's a surprising counterpoint to the magic of compounding investment, the compounding of neglect. Just as small, consistent investments grow into a fortune over time, small, consistent acts of putting things off, of choosing comfort over progress, of saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," those compound too. Like a tiny leak you ignore under the sink, compounding neglect turns small, daily choices focused only on now into a future you might deeply regret. A flooded basement of missed opportunities and financial strain. But here's the incredibly liberating part. The power to choose is yours, and you hold it right now in your hands. You don't need to be perfect from this moment forward. You don't need to become some kind of monastic figure who suddenly renounces all pleasure. That's unrealistic and, frankly, a bit boring. See? Not monk-like at all. You just need to commit to making one slightly better choice today than you made yesterday. Just one. And then, just keep compounding those slightly better choices. Your future self is literally depending on you. They are cheering you on from the future, because they know how much better things can be if you just start now. So, here's the action prompt, the challenge for you. What is one tiny, almost laughably small action you can take today, maybe even in the next 60 minutes, that is solely, purely for the benefit of your future self, not for present comfort, not for immediate validation, but just for them? Maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer of just $5 to a savings account you never touch. Maybe it's deleting that one shopping app that always tempts you. Perhaps it's spending just 15 minutes actively researching that skill that could boost your income, or finally opening that budgeting spreadsheet you've been avoiding like the plague. Choose one. Just one tiny thing, and do it. Do it right now. Your future self is already saying thank you.